we become what we think about. It's just as simple as that. And if you're not thinking about anything, or if you're thinking thoughts, then that will be your life. You know, everyone is exactly where they are in life because of decisions they have or haven't made. It sounds quite callous because lots of external things can happen to someone, but we always have options. Like people generally, especially where we live, you know, we're very privileged where we live in the Western world, where, you know, we have all of the mod cons. You know, we have the privilege of making decisions and following them through. So, you know, I think the biggest thing that I can see looking back is that I knew where I wanted, what I wanted to be and what I wanted to do, and I just worked hard to get there.
So do you believe in like manifestation then? I don't know if you'd use that word, but like writing down goals and...
Yeah, I don't, you know, I'm not going to be sitting chanting and doing that sort of stuff, but like it's proven 110%. It's proven 100% that what you think about becomes your reality. It's like riding a motorbike. I get on a motorbike, I go round a roundabout, I look at a tree, I guarantee you I'm going to hit the tree, right? So the things that you focus on and spend your time on and process and graft, then you'll get there. That's the bottom line. Like there's no magic formula, there's nothing else. Like what you think about and what dominates your thought process from when you get up in the morning to when you go to bed will become your reality. And it's not like hocus pocus, sort of fairy dust and all the rest of it. It's just simply that, you know, it's like you get a black car, whatever brand it is, and then on the same day you see 6, 8, 10 others because you're dialed into that thing. It's like it's at the front of your mind. So whatever your goal is that you're trying to achieve, it's the same as that. You're just open to more opportunities. And the other thing that's worth mentioning is probably have an open mind. As soon as you go down the route of thinking you know everything, ego, etc., then you're you know, or building the walls to protect yourself is keeping ideas and things and people out.
Everything begins with taking responsibility. If you take responsibility, the number of excuses diminishes because it's your responsibility. If you don't take responsibility, it's always somebody else's fault. You've always got a way out of the issue. And I've dealt with teams who didn't take responsibility. It was always his fault. So you'd say, what happened on that? He did it. And that's the death of a team. So you're looking for people who go, okay, it happened, I will deal with it. I will learn from it, I will move on. So taking responsibility is the start of controlling your mindset and your life's journey.
Listen to yourself. Yeah, listen to yourself before you listen to anyone else. And I'm not going to go into the story because it's not for this, but yeah, I learned the hard way in a certain experience where I listened to someone else and something went wrong when I knew what I should have been doing and I should have listened to myself. And you know yourself, the outcome or what you want the outcome to be. So yeah, just listening to yourself a little bit more. You own it, right? Like I have to own the fact that I listen to someone else, which is even worse, which plagues you, right? But then you learn those lessons the hard way. And like what you were saying, like you know yourself where you want to go, right? It's like when you ask someone their opinion of something, you already have the answer in your own head. You're just trying to find clarification, or you just want them to agree with you so that you can go ahead and do it.
Rule 4 is my favorite rule here, so listen out for that. And there's a special treat at the end of the video. If you want to support more projects like these, please head over to www.mulliganbrothers.com, where you can now get the Memento Mori poster. Use code STOIC at checkout for 10% off, where all the profits on the t-shirts and hoodies also go back into creating this content.
And there's an old saying, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I wouldn't agree with that. I hate being uncomfortable. But in order to get achievements, it generally means being uncomfortable. And you've got that energy in your tank and that drive to do it. Just use it. Break through it. It doesn't matter. Like getting in that water this morning, I ain't getting it. It's cold. I know it's cold. But I'm going to get in it. Because I can. I can. And I also have a choice. I can or I can't. Like I said, there ain't no can't. I can. So I'm going to do it. And everybody's got the saying, no matter what it is. You've got it in there. You have got it in you. Everybody has. There's no excuses. Whether you've got a disease, whether you've got a problem, whether you've got a mental problem, you have. You've just got to go through it. The problem with, you know, the mental problem as well is that it's real. Of course it's real. But you've got to make the first move. Because no one else knows what's inside your head. No one. You have got to say to yourself, I cannot sit in this pity party. You can sit in there and go, blame somebody else is going to drag me forward and do it. People will try, but you still have to make that fucking move. You still have to go forward and go, I want to get through this now, I'm going to go. So everybody, that's what you got to go. You got to say, this is not comfortable. I've got to get through it, and it's a passage in time. It's like anything, you know, we've all been through that roller coaster of, oh, I've got a load of money now, now I've got nothing. Now I've got a bit of money, now I've got nothing. Now I'm feeling fit, now I ain't fit. Now I'm in a great relationship, now everybody hates me. It's a passage in time. It'll keep coming and keep going. But you've got to make the first move. Get out the pity party, because the only one in the pity party is you, and go forward. Take that fucking bite and go, fuck it. And it ain't going to be easy, and it's going to be painful, but it's going to be worth it.
When you try to achieve something in life, it's inevitable there will be setbacks. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So it's tough. It's tough rising to the top of your career. It's tough holding a relationship together. It's tough buying a house. It's tough being a champion. So there will be setbacks. So we need a process for dealing with setbacks. And we have to develop the resilience to handle that situation. There's a great story of Kobe Bryant, the basketball player. In his first year as a professional, his team reached the playoffs, and he was the superstar, the young superstar. And in the last minute of the game, he had 3 shots to win the game for his team and missed all 3. And at the end of the game, the commentators were astounded. This great talent missed all 3 shots. And he was sat down on the bench, and his head was in his hands. And they were talking about how he must feel dreadful. And when he got up to come off the court, they managed to get an interview with him and said, Kobe, you were sat on the bench with your head in your hands, you must have felt terrible. And he looked at them and he said, what's feeling got to do with it? I was working out why I missed those shots. I now know why I missed those shots, and I can do something about it. And that's a great coping strategy when you have a setback. Setbacks knock you emotionally off balance, but you've got to work beyond the emotion to get to, why did I have that setback? What can I learn from it? How am I going to avoid it in the future? And go on.
When you're thinking about like what you really want, what your goals are, again, it goes back to the question of, well, why do you want that? Why do you really want that? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Why do you want to achieve all of these goals? And really like be patient with that question and understand that all of the things are fine. Like we don't have to have shame about all of these things we're told to have shame. Do you want pleasure from this? Okay, great. Of course you want pleasure. Of course. Don't lie. Like, of course you want pleasure. And did I want pleasure? Fuck yeah, I did. I wanted pleasure. I wanted access to pleasure, pleasurable things, pleasurable experiences. Did I want power? Yeah, I did. And for 2 reasons. One, my ego wanted power because I wanted to think I was better than other people. Of course it did. That's what the ego does. It only knows itself in comparison. But also, did I want the power for, instead of the power over, the power for helping other people? Did William Wallace want power? Yes, of course he did. Of course, for Scotland. You know, that's why he wanted, like, these things that have been shamed, they don't need to be shamed because they're true. And when we shame them, we put them in the shadows. So really looking at what you want and why, and being honest is really, really important. I wish I would have been able to do that a little bit more clearly then. And in the recent studies that I've been studying deep in the Hebraic wisdom traditions, all the way from the Temple of Solomon, Rabbi Mordecai Leiner, all the way down to modern teachers. They call this the process of berur, B-E-R-U-R, berur, and it's the clarification of desire. It's understanding, what do you really want, and why do you want it, and who is the you that wants it, you know? And that's like, that I think is the key question that we aren't asking, and we aren't answering honestly. And I think that's also a big deal. We got to ask the question honestly, and we got to answer it honestly, because we'll like to tell ourselves, oh, I just want to help people. I want to help my family. Yeah, and you want pleasure, you want power, you want purpose, you want, you know, there's a lot of other things you want. Like, be honest, it's okay. It's like, we're all the same, you know, we all feel that. And if you deny that, you're probably full of shit.
And everyone has those moments which they can pull from. For me, when we talk about motivation and discipline, I always say motivation is doing things when you feel like doing it, and discipline is doing things regardless of how you feel. Don't rely on motivation. Motivation is a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling which will get you started with things. And, you know, to a certain element that can be important to get started, but don't allow it to, don't need motivation to get through with things, because everything that you need to do in your life is fucking hard to do. But everything fucking hard to do will change your life. And no one is going to come and get you up in the morning and tell you to do it. Discipline is doing things regardless of how you feel. And for me, that is reminding myself of, if it's hard to do, it's good to do. Because you don't learn anything from a perfect day. And when people have a shit time, they don't learn the lessons from those shit times either. You know, if someone said, I've had the week from hell, you want to forget it. But it's like, well, why have you had the week from hell? What's happened? And what can you do next time? Something that we do in the army when I was in was called an after-action review. And what an after-action review is when you go out and patrol on the ground. When you do something, you come back and you ask yourself 3 questions. What went right, what went wrong, and what can be improved next time? And you need to do that for your day, you need to do that for your week. What went right for the week? Firstly, if you've had a shit week, there'll be a few things in there, some highlights, some things that you're grateful for. What went wrong? Lots of things went wrong. Cool, let's list them down. And then the final one, what can be improved next time? Because a lot of those things that went wrong probably were because you weren't prepared, because you didn't do something, and we can get ready for that next time. You know, or what went wrong? Traffic. You know, was late to work. What can we do next time? Cool. Well, we know Wednesdays is a bit nightmare for traffic, so maybe leave 30 minutes earlier. Common sense isn't always common practice. So for me, it is living a disciplined life. You know, it's doing the hard shit that you don't want to do, and it's convincing yourself to do that, because of one of my favourite quotes, and that is, hard things, easy life, easy things, hard life. You can choose an easy life. There's no one making you go to the gym. There's no one making you jump in the sea. There's no one making you do any of this shit. You can live a very simple life, but good luck with it. Let me know how that goes. If you want to live a rewarding, fulfilling, successful life, you'll embrace difficult things the minute that you wake up. You'll embrace those difficult things without waiting for permission to do it, or for somebody else to put a mirror in your face to say that you're not doing enough. Set a standard for yourself.
Don't be afraid to go for something. You know, even if you think that's out of my league, actually you don't know until you try, but by doing it, opens up new avenues. Anyway, so the big one is, don't be afraid to go for something. Don't let everybody else tell you you can't. The only person who knows if you can or you can't is yourself. And you might not be able to, but have the courage and conviction and the balls to go for it anyway. Because it opens up a new style, new life for you, a new, better, generally a better place to be.
Sometimes it's difficult to come to terms with the raging emotions in your head, your doubts, fears and anxieties. And so one of the techniques I use is to to get those out onto the page. And it's quite relieving actually to sometimes get them out of your head, clear your head by writing them down on the page. And then on the opposite page, I say, once you've written them down, write down what you could do about them tomorrow, how you could help yourself tomorrow. And then we keep doing that, and gradually they're developing the coping skills of dealing with them. So they're recognizing their own traumas, but they're also recognizing, by focusing on this, I actually got rid of that. So they're recognizing coping strategies. So I think keeping a journal is a very good way of taking your innermost turbulent emotions out of your head where it's damaging and putting it on a piece of paper and making it an objective exercise, making it a rational exercise rather than an emotional exercise, and then beginning to read and see every day what's happening to you and beginning to find ways round that, coping strategies for. And it's interesting when you start with a player who's in trouble, the page on the left goes shorter and shorter and shorter and that's a nice sign.
If you want to perceive what is, you must die to everything of yesterday. Teaching is a useful rule. The thing is, when you are raised, everybody would tell you what your narrative is. Don't do that, that's stupid, you're not gonna make money. That's stupid, you shouldn't do that, you're gonna fail. You're a dumb kid. Nobody likes you, you understand? That's other people's narrative. So in order to perceive what is, you must die to everything of yesterday. In order to perceive what is what is actual truth. What is actual truth was here before our time. As human beings, the land, the stars, the moon, heaven, God, all these things were here before us. And then as human beings, we put a narrative on it. A day that's given to us. A day is only a day, but then we put a title on it. It's a bad day. It's a good day. It's a long day. It's not true. So in order for you to perceive what is, you must die to your narrative. Because that narrative that you made for yourself is somebody else's narrative that you adapted. Therefore, you're living your own lies. Therefore, you're not living truth. So in order for you to perceive what is, you must die to everything of yesterday. It goes so deep. So deep, can you imagine? All your trauma, all the times that you put a name on it. Can you imagine? You tell yourself it's a lie. And you inject the word of positivity into your day. It's a bad fucking day. This is a lie. It's not a bad day. The day is a day. That's what's actual truth. But as a human being, I have control over how I feel about this day, and I will inject, today is a beautiful day. That's my narrative. You see? You must die to everything of yesterday.
Thank you so much for watching this video. These kind of videos are some of my favorite ones. These are my favorite rules, and I love putting these videos out. So thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna link all the resources down below. If you want to support more projects like this, please head over to www.mulliganbrothers.com, where you can get the Memento Mori poster, a poster to remind you that you are going to die, and we must live in the face of the knowledge of that we're one day gonna die. So let us not waste this time that we have. Use code STOIC at checkout for 10% off. You can get the hoodies, t-shirts as well, with the link in the description, where all the profits go back into creating this content. Thank you for watching, guys. Honestly, your support, your love, everything on these videos means the world to me, my brothers, my team. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.